Okay, discussion time. We're going to find multiple sets of polar coordinates for a given point. What point? I'll give you one. How about 2 and 5 pi over 6? We also want to find some other polar coordinates. So, for example, one that might be where r is greater than 0 and negative 2 pi less than or equal to theta and less than 0. Also, where r is less than 0, 0 is less than or equal to theta, which is less than 2 pi. And lastly, where r is greater than 0, between 2 pi, it's less than or equal to theta, less than 4 pi. Okay. So if we're going to graph the first one, we know that we first start with a perfectly even and symmetrical graph. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, 5 is getting a little, pushing it. Okay, so if we're going, we know the first coordinate's 2, so 0, 1, 2. Now, the second one is, don't worry, got the handy dandy unit circle. The second one is 5 pi over 6, so we know that's where that's going to be. Second line, 5 pi over 6 angle, that's where we're at. Now if we're going to find another one, we're going to find another polar coordinate. So for the first one, for example, since r is greater than 0, we don't need to change the first coordinate, so that's the same. So we know that that first coordinate is going to be 2. Need to know what the second one will be. Then we rotate it. We'll rotate clockwise. Excuse me. So we can do that by taking 5 pi over 6, subtracting 2 pi rotations, so we get negative 7 pi over 6, and that's going to be our second coordinate. Negative 7 pi over 6. So for B, where r is less than 0, 0 is less than or equal to theta, it's less than 2 pi. For that one, since it's less than, and the absolute value of r is 2, the first coordinate is going to be negative 2. So we know that. Now, what about the second one? Well, if we take 5, 6 again, then what we do is add pi rotations to it. 5 pi over 6 plus pi. Then we'll get 11 pi over 6. And so our second point would be 11 pi over 6. Lastly, the third one, since r again is greater than 0, no change in the first point. And for the second one, what we'll do this time, the first one will rotate clockwise. These other two will rotate counterclockwise, and we'll rotate by 2 pi. So 5 pi over 6 plus 2 pi, that'll give us 17 pi over 6, and that will also give us our third coordinate. Or that also allows us to complete our third coordinate. So there you have it.